It is bigger than 4 Eiffel Towers laid end to end. It carries more people than most cruise ships carry in a month. And the guests on board, all 7,600 of them, have no idea they are floating on top of one of the most complex machines ever built. This is the icon of the seas. $2 billion, 250,000 tons, and an engineering story that most people will never see because it was designed that way. When Royal Caribbean decided to build the largest cruise ship in history, they didn't just have an engineering problem. They had a crowd problem. Put 7,000 people on a single vessel without a plan, and you get gridlock. Hour-long waits at the buffet, pool decks packed shoulder to shoulder, a vacation that starts feeling like a commute. Their solution was to stop thinking about it as a ship. They thought about it as a city. The icon of the seas is divided into 8 distinct neighborhoods. Each one is its own world. Chill Island has 4 pools and a swim-up bar. Thrill Island has a surf simulator, a zip line 150 feet above open ocean, and 6 water slides, including the first open freefall slide ever built at sea. Surfside is designed for families with young children. The Hideaway is adults only, with a suspended infinity pool and a beach club. The result? You can fill every cabin, pack every bar, and the family on the water slide might never cross paths with the couple in the infinity pool. Same ship. 8 completely different vacations. But building a city on water creates a problem that no city on land ever has to solve. Every skyscraper needs a foundation. The icon of the seas has one, but it is only 31 feet deep. Above the waterline, the ship rises 20 decks. 250 feet of steel, glass, restaurants, pools, and 10,000 people. Balanced on a hull barely as deep as a 4-story building. To keep it upright, the ship runs a constant calculation. Dozens of ballast tanks sit inside the hull, filled with seawater. When too many guests move to one side, say 3,000 people crowding the deck for a sunset, the system has already started pumping water to the opposite side before the tilt even registers. It is not reacting to the problem. It is staying ahead of it. The system never stops. It adjusts for fuel burn as the tanks empty, for pool water levels, for how many people are eating dinner versus standing on the open decks. Every variable, every hour, every day, automatically. For bigger swells, the ship extends massive stabilizer fins beneath the waterline. Underwater wings, driven by hydraulic actuators, angle thousands of times per minute based on live gyroscopic data. They generate lift in the exact opposite direction of every roll. On Deck 20, in moderate seas, guests barely feel it. And the hull itself contributes. The icon of the seas uses a parabolic bow, the first ever on a cruise ship. It cuts through water differently than a traditional hull, smoothing the ride and reducing fuel consumption at the same time. Every design choice does 2 jobs at once. 14 decks below the water slides, behind doors no guest has any reason to open. 6 engines are running around the clock. Each of the 3 main units is 40 feet long, has 14 cylinders, and weighs 245 tons. Heavier than a blue whale, longer than a school bus. Together, the 6 engines produce 130 megawatts of electricity, enough to power a small city. They do exactly that. They power a city that is moving at 22 knots through the Caribbean. The fuel is liquefied natural gas. Natural gas cooled to negative 260 degrees Fahrenheit until it compresses into a liquid 600 times denser than what comes out of a kitchen stove. 2 cryogenic tanks store it on board, each weighing over 300 tons, insulated so heavily that the fuel stays liquid while the sun bakes the deck above. Those tanks were not even built in the same country as the ship. They were fabricated in Germany, loaded onto barges, and towed across the Baltic Sea to the Finnish shipyard where the hull was waiting. The entire engine room, generators, fuel systems, and tanks was assembled as a single floating unit in Germany. then towed to Finland and slid into the hull like a drawer into a desk. 2 countries, 1 power plant, and it burns 20% cleaner than international shipping regulations require. But the real engineering story is not what these engines burn, it's what they throw away. Most ships dump engine exhaust heat straight into the ocean, hundreds of degrees of thermal energy, gone forever. The Icon captures it. By the time that waste heat dissipates on the ship, it's already desalinated your drinking water, warmed the pool you were floating in that afternoon, heated the water for your laundry, and boiled the pasta in the kitchen 3 decks above the engine room. 1 heat source, 4 jobs, 0 additional fuel. 10,000 people generate a lot of waste. The Icon of the Seas generates it too, and then it uses it. The ship collects food scraps, packaging, and solid waste, heats it in a sealed chamber, and converts it into gas. That gas feeds directly back into the ship's electrical grid. It's called microwave-assisted pyrolysis. The crew calls it the garbage-powered generator. It's the first system of its kind ever installed at sea, on a vessel where every machine has to keep working while the floor is moving. The leftover carbon gets compressed into pellets and shipped to farmers as fertilizer. The world's most expensive floating object invented a new way to take out the trash. The Icon of the Seas has no rudder. Instead, 3 electric motor pods hang beneath the stern, each one connected directly to a propeller, with nothing between the motor and the water except thrust. 20 megawatts per pod, each one capable of rotating a full 360 degrees. 0.1 left, the ship goes left. 0.1 backward, it stops. Combined with 5 bow thrusters at the front, the captain can slide a 250,000-ton vessel sideways into a berth with the precision of a sports car parking. Most ports don't even send tugboats anymore. Steering is the easy problem. Feeding 10,000 people is a different beast entirely. Behind the walls of every restaurant, every kitchen, every laundry room runs a hidden corridor that stretches the full length of the ship. The crew calls it I-95. It's a private highway. Crew members commute through it on foot, on scooters, moving food carts and housekeeping trolleys, supplying 60,000 meals a day across more than 40 restaurants, all of it invisible to the guests browsing shops on the other side of the wall. During turnaround, the 6-hour window between one sailing and the next, 5,600 guests walk off while 5,600 new ones walk on, and loading crews haul tons of produce, meat, seafood, and dry goods through those corridors before the ship leaves at 4 o'clock, whether the freezers are full or not. Forklifts rolling past laundry carts, rolling past room service prep stations, all of it choreographed down to the minute. Miss the window and the ship sails with empty walk-ins. There is no second chance. And while all of that is happening above, something else is running below. A full hospital operates around the clock. ICU beds, an operating theater capable of emergency surgery at sea, X-ray machines, a pharmacy stocked for cardiac events, broken bones, allergic reactions, and the kind of stomach bug that can tear through a ship this size in 48 hours. Because when you are 3 days from the nearest port, a helicopter evacuation only works if the weather cooperates. The nearest fire department does not exist either. The nearest grocery store does not exist. For 7 days, everything that keeps 10,000 people alive has to come from inside the hull. The pools and water slides get the photographs. The vast majority of that $2 billion price tag went to everything underneath them. And it was all built in 900 days. 201 prefabricated steel blocks, some arriving at the Finnish shipyard with wiring, plumbing, and furniture already installed, assembled like the most expensive jigsaw puzzle ever attempted. A digital twin modeled every weld and every pipe run in 3 dimensions before a single torch was lit. Tolerances tighter than the width of a pencil lead. In December of 2022, the dock flooded and the unfinished vessel touched water for the first time. It floated perfectly, because it had already floated perfectly thousands of times inside a computer, months before the gates ever opened. The best engineering disappears. Walk through the ship at night, kids running toward the water slides, music drifting from the pool deck, the glass walls glowing over the ocean, and nobody is thinking about the ballast tanks beneath their feet, or the electric motor pods spinning silently under the stern, or the 6 engines the size of houses running in the dark far below. That's the point. You only see what it makes possible.